You did not arrive here by accident. Something greater than logic brought you to this exact moment. A quiet pull, an invisible thread, a vibration that matched your own. The mind may call it coincidence, but the heart knows better. What you feel right now, that strange sense of familiarity, as though these words were meant for you, is not chance, it is coherence. Everything in existence vibrates, and vibration is the true language of the universe. Thought, emotion, and energy, these are the frequencies through which reality responds. And so, when your mind aligns with a certain vibration, the field of creation rearranges itself to meet you there. That is why some experiences find you at the perfect time. They are not random. They are reflections of the signal you have been sending all along. Long before you pressed play, before your conscious mind decided to listen, your energy had already called this moment forth. The field of consciousness responded, as it always does, not to your words, but to your vibration. For the universe is not death to your emotions, it is built from them. Everything you perceive, every person you meet, every event that unfolds was first conceived within the invisible realm of thought. Nothing moves in the universe without first being born in the mind. The visible is only the final echo of the unseen. The soil of reality is your consciousness, and every belief, every image, every emotion is a seed waiting to grow into form. This is the mystery that Napoleon Hill discovered when he wrote, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." He was not speaking in metaphor. He was describing a law, one as precise as gravity. For when belief and emotion merge, when the heart and the mind become one current, creation has no choice but to respond. The imagination is not fantasy, it is the womb of reality. The invisible does not merely precede the visible, it creates it. The future is not something you wait for, it is something you remember into existence. So understand this. This encounter, you, this message, this moment, is not coincidence, it is correspondence. It is the universe answering a silent request you made long ago, perhaps in a moment of confusion, perhaps in prayer, perhaps in thought. You did not find this message, you matched it. And when you truly grasp that everything meets you through resonance, a new understanding begins to awaken. One that reveals the greatest mistake most people make when facing the mysterious intelligence that governs their lives. And that brings us to the next truth.
Most people walk through life as if existence were a collection of accidents, as though events simply happen without rhythm, meaning, or intelligence. They call it luck when things align, and misfortune when they do not. But what they call chaos is merely unrecognized order. Coincidence is the language of the universe, but few have learned to listen. Each so-called random event is a message from the field, an echo of your own coherence or lack of it. Yet the analytical mind, desperate for control, dismisses what the heart already understands. It dissects the magic of life into logic, and in doing so, it loses the ability to feel truth. There is a sacred intelligence organizing everything you experience. Every delay, every meeting, every seeming detour, All of it is part of a precise communication between your vibration and the infinite field that surrounds you. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. But here lies the invisible error. Humanity has grown addicted to control. Instead of listening, it analyzes. Instead of aligning, it argues. And in this mental noise, the subtle signals of the universe go unnoticed. You see, the language of the divine is not words, but resonance. It does not explain itself. It reveals itself through feeling. The ego demands proof. The soul recognizes pattern. The more you try to rationalize the flow, the more you step out of it. For logic fragments what only love can comprehend. When you begin to notice coincidences, when symbols repeat, when timing becomes uncanny, understand this is not random. It is alignment reminding you that you are not alone in your creation. The same intelligence that spins galaxies is responding to your inner state with flawless precision. And once you begin to listen, once you quiet the mind enough to feel the field, something even deeper begins to awaken. The awareness of the invisible structure that connects all things. Which brings us naturally to the next revelation.
Everything is connected by an unseen fabric of energy, a unified field through which all thoughts, emotions, and intentions flow. This field is not mystical, it is mathematical. It hums with the frequencies of every living being, carrying information far beyond the limits of space and time. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions align in coherence, you do not attract anything, you resonate with it. The universe does not respond to your requests, it mirrors your vibration. Synchronicities are the evidence of that resonance, the universe's way of saying, you are in tune. Imagine this field as an ocean. Each thought you think is a ripple upon its surface. A single ripple may go unnoticed, but when thought and emotion move together with conviction, they form a wave strong enough to reach distant shores. That wave carries your frequency into the infinite, and life reorganizes itself in response. This is why certain opportunities seem to appear at the perfect moment, why you think of someone just before they call, or encounter exactly what you need at the precise instant you need it. These are not accidents, they are echoes of coherence. Synchronicity is not a sign of external favor, it is feedback. It is the universe confirming that your internal state and external reality have begun to speak the same language. When you are out of tune, you experience friction and confusion. When you are in tune, life flows. And yet many fall out of harmony without realizing it. They begin to doubt, to fear, to force. The signal weakens and the connection blurs. The field never stops responding. It simply mirrors the new vibration of uncertainty. This dissonance, this energetic interference is what keeps so many from living their purpose. And so, to understand how to restore that connection, we must look at the next layer. The phenomenon I call vibrational dissonance. The human mind, conditioned by fear and urgency, constantly tries to control divine timing. It rushes, it demands, it fears that if it does not act now, the opportunity will vanish. But in this tension, it disrupts the very frequency that allows creation to unfold. Vibrational dissonance is what occurs when you ask for one thing, but vibrate in another. You speak abundance, but feel scarcity. You pray for peace while holding resentment. You visualize purpose, but act from fear. The signal becomes confused, and the field, ever faithful, mirrors that confusion back to you. The universe never denies your request. It only pauses until your vibration matches your intention. The silence you interpret as no is often just the recalibration of your energy. You cannot rush alignment. The divine operates in rhythm, not urgency. When your emotional state contradicts your desire, you create interference, like static between stations on a radio. The message is there, but you cannot hear it until you adjust the dial. Purpose cannot be forced. It emerges naturally when the emotional noise fades and the mind and body return to coherence. The moment you stop chasing, you begin receiving. When you finally release control, something remarkable happens. The universe begins to mirror your stillness with clarity. And in that clarity, reality itself changes, not as an act of luck, but as a reflection of who you have become. And that leads us effortlessly to the next truth, one that reveals the greatest secret of manifestation. Reality is not something you face, it is something you project.
Every event that unfolds before you is not a happening, it is a reflection. Life does not move toward you or against you, it moves from you. The outer world is the mirror of your inner state, the precise translation of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs into form. You have been taught to believe that the world exists independently of you, that it is something you must conquer or change. But the truth, my friend, is far more empowering. Reality is your consciousness made visible. What you perceive as coincidence or fate is, in truth, coherence finding its shape. When your inner world is fragmented, so too is your experience. When your mind is divided between desire and doubt, your path becomes uncertain. But when the vibration within you stabilizes, when what you think, feel, and believe become one harmonious tone, the world reflects that order without delay. You cannot experience beyond your consciousness, for the universe is not a place you live in, it is a field that lives through you. Each thought is a brushstroke, each emotion a color, each belief a pattern upon the canvas of existence. The masterpiece before you is of your own design, though most remain unaware that they hold the brush. Do not fear this truth, embrace it. For once you understand that you are the author of your experience, you are free to rewrite it. You no longer ask the universe to change, you become the change to which it responds. To alter your reality, you must begin not with behavior, but with vibration. The mind that seeks control must yield to the consciousness that already creates. You cannot fix the reflection in the mirror by touching the glass. You must change the face that stands before it. When you stop searching for signs, when you cease trying to force outcomes, and instead embody the emotion of the reality you wish to live, the universe no longer needs to send proof.
It simply reflects your conviction. This is the secret the wise have always known. Coincidence is the mirror of coherence. When your vibration aligns with the truth of who you are, life becomes synchrony itself. And yet knowing this truth is not enough. To live it, one must learn to feel it, to cultivate the presence that perceives beyond words, beyond logic, beyond fear. It is in that presence that your true purpose begins to reveal itself. Let us now move deeper into the practice that reconnects you with the field and allows the purpose that was always within you to rise once more.
Before you seek meaning in the signs that appear around you, learn to feel what they awaken within you. The body is the most faithful instrument of perception. It never lies, never argues, never doubts. Where there is lightness, there is alignment. Where there is tension, there is resistance. Sit quietly and breathe. Allow your attention to sink from the mind into the body. Notice the sensations, the energy, the movement within you. This is how the universe speaks, not through words, but through resonance. When you observe without controlling, when you listen without analyzing, you enter the vibration of presence. And in presence, the field reveals its rhythm. You begin to see that every detail, every sound, every coincidence, every silence carries instruction. Nothing is random. Everything is communication. The purpose you have been searching for is not hidden somewhere in the future. It is vibrating through you at this very moment, waiting for your awareness to quiet enough to recognize it. You do not need to find purpose. You only need to remember it. With each conscious breath, your vibration begins to harmonize. The mind slows, the body relaxes, and the gap between you and the divine narrows until it disappears entirely. You and the field become one current, a single consciousness flowing through form. As you practice this state, the need to interpret signs will fade. You will no longer ask, "What does this mean?" but rather, "What does this make me feel?" For feeling is the language of truth. The more you observe without control, the more clearly the path unfolds. What once felt like chaos reveals its design. What once felt like silence begins to sing. Presence is the bridge between confusion and clarity. It is the door through which purpose enters. And when you live from that space of awareness, calm, trusting, open, you discover something extraordinary. The same intelligence that guides the stars has been guiding you all along. And that brings us to the culmination of this journey, the union between faith and biology, where thought becomes energy, energy becomes matter, and purpose becomes life itself.
There is a sacred intelligence within every cell of your being, a wisdom far older than your thoughts, far wiser than your fears. Your body is not separate from your consciousness. It is its physical echo. Every belief, every emotion, every vibration you sustain instructs the biology within you. When you live in doubt, your cells withdraw into defense. They constrict, preparing for survival. The body mirrors the vibration of fear. But when you live in trust, when you remember that there is meaning behind every event, your cells expand. They move into growth, into openness, into life. Faith, then, is not merely a spiritual posture. It is a biological state. Each moment you choose belief over fear, your body harmonizes with the infinite field that sustains you. The mind, heart, and energy become one current. In that coherence, miracles cease to be extraordinary. They become natural. For every thought you hold sends a signal, and every emotion you feel strengthens that signal. When both align, when your intention is clear and your feeling elevated, the field around you begins to reorganize itself with mathematical precision. Life, in its countless forms, begins to conspire for your alignment. This is the state where coincidence disappears, where destiny becomes direction. You no longer wait for signs, you are the sign. Your mere presence becomes evidence of divine intelligence in motion. Think of it this way. Your cells are tiny receivers tuned to the station of your dominant emotion. When you tune to gratitude, to peace, to faith, the frequency of your biology matches the frequency of creation. Expansion becomes your natural state. You are no longer surviving. You are expressing. This is what it means to live with purpose. Purpose is not a task, it is a tone. It is the resonance between your inner truth and the universe that surrounds you. When that resonance becomes stable, life stops testing you and starts trusting you. The field delivers not by chance, but by coherence. There is no randomness in a coherent universe. Every detail of your life, every silence, every delay, every encounter is a fragment of an intelligent design responding to your frequency. The universe never misdelivers. Every message, every opportunity, every lesson arrives at the precise moment you are ready to receive it. And so if these words found you, it is because you were ready. Your vibration called them forth. Your consciousness created the alignment. You are not here by accident. You are here because your soul remembered to ask for truth. The field has one rule. It cannot give you what you do not believe you already are. When you see yourself as separate from the divine, the world mirrors separation. When you see yourself as an extension of the divine, the world mirrors harmony. Train your faith, and your biology will follow. Train your vibration, and the universe will respond. There is no greater mastery than this, to live in such alignment that thought, emotion, and energy become indistinguishable from the intelligence that created them. This is where purpose is no longer a destination, but a state of being, where faith is no longer practiced, but embodied. You are not a wanderer seeking meaning. You are meaning itself unfolding. So let these words rest in you like a calm tide. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is coherence. Everything is connection. The same intelligence that guides the galaxies has guided you here to remember this truth. You are exactly where you are meant to be, not because of chance, but because your vibration has finally aligned with your purpose. And from this day forward, may every breath remind you that faith is the frequency through which creation moves. Train your mind for wealth, for peace, for abundance, for love, and the universe, faithful and precise, will handle the rest. Because it always has, it always will. It was never apart from you. It was always responding to you.